A heavy metal song about a motorcycle ride to races.
Well, hello there in YouTube land and welcome back to the channel. And today we're gonna hop on a Harley Davidson Fat Boy. I just want to take advantage. Every time there's a demo, I see a Fat Boy, I want to ride it. So look at this. So look at this one. Now, when I saw it at first, the color, didn't really like it, but now that it's up close, I don't know, I'm getting fond of it because it's more of a brick color than brown, and it just shines with the light. Now, I didn't like the when they changed the little badge, because I like the two wings, right? More of a homage to Air Force things, but I don't know. So what is a Fat Boy? If anybody is not familiar with a Harley Davidson Fat Boy, so it's a part of the Softail lineup, and it's like the standard, or I mean not the standard, the flagship bike for Harley Davidson's Softail. So the Softail is a bike that is not it's gonna look like a hardtail, right? You see here, it doesn't have any shocks showing. It looks like it's hard, no suspension, but it does have a little suspension hidden inside. That's why they're called the Softails, and you can adjust it using this thing for preload. So that's a good thing to have. Now the Fat Boy also comes with that big fat tire, and it used to have like all the wheels were like, what's that, what do we call that? But now they have regular wheels. Well, not regular, but it does have some air, or some holes in it for the air. All right, it has, the brakes are Harley Davidson's badge or brand. It has a 114 cubic inch Milwaukee 8 engine, which is like the best thing about this bike, other than its looks. If you look at it, it's just such a beautiful bike, and it's a great to ride it. So we'll hop on it, see what it's like to ride in 2024 and 25 year models. I like this bike a lot. It's just so beautiful. I wish I could have my street light with that headlight, because it's one of the best things about this bike. I like the whole nacelle thing, this huge. It has a presence on the road. It has a floorboard, has a toe shifter. Now, something that you need to customize, obviously, are gonna be the mirrors and the grips that are pretty terrible. I like the bullet holes here, part of the design, and the whole chrome thing going on with the twin pipes. I like it a lot. Such an awesome looking bike. All right, let's hop on and see how it's like to ride. Oh, it's so low to the ground. I love that feeling on a Fat Boy, that it's just so low to the ground. You can flat foot this bike no problem. So for beginners, it's not that intimidating. Even though it's a heavy bike, you don't necessarily gonna struggle with it. So another thing that you'll notice is that it has this big, huge, fat tank. The floorboards, everything looks menacing on this bike, and that's something that I like. And it's a keyless ignition, right? So we have the key fob up here, and all we have to do is, well, turn it on here, press this thing, and then you can always feel the rumbling on that engine. It's a lot better than anything else that you will feel. Now, the only thing about these bikes on the 25 models, and ever since they have to make sure that they comply with emission standards, is that the sound of the exhaust. You need to change those pipes to something a little bit better sounding. But you can feel the engine. It's like, as opposed to Oh, it doesn't turn. It doesn't want to turn because it has that big fat tire. So as opposed to the my Street Glide, you feel more engaged with the bike on a bike like this, that it's a little bit shorter and you're more like with it. I forgot how difficult it is for actually to turn the bike because of the big fat tire. But once you get used to it, it's not a bad idea. I mean, it's not a bad experience. And another thing that is great about these bikes is that you can be on basically any gear and it's going to have a whole bunch of a torque. So it doesn't really matter which gear you're on. Now it does have a gear indicator, but it's one of those gear indicators that it's going to have a little computer that's going to calculate which gear you're on by checking the revs and the speed, and then sometimes it pops up here. It's not the greatest, but it works. And another thing that you're going to notice about all Harleys, especially the Softails, you struggle a lot to find neutral. There it is. Okay, one of the things that I would change, well, let's talk about the good things about the bike. Obviously the looks, love the way you can just sit here and feel very comfortable because it's low to the ground and the seat is so low, and then it's big, it's huge. You can move around. It's the most comfortable of the Softails for me. The sound of that engine. Even though the pipes are not the greatest, the bike itself is so good. Now once you get used to how it moves from side to side, it's so awesome. I don't love the toe shifter here because your boot gets stuck there, that there's no way you can move it around. You see now it's checking, it says third, it disappears, and then it says fourth. So it does give you the gear. Alright, so one of the things that they changed from previous years is that you used to have a fake cap and a regular cap. Now you have only this flush cap that it's pretty nice. I like it. It does have self-canceling indicators, and this one comes with cruise control. That's something that they didn't used to have. I don't know exactly how it works, but it seems self-explanatory. You click on it and then you set it and it's cruise control. Very easy, very nice. I like the flush mount here on the cap. And but one of the things that I would change is this thing, this very old school, and then this Casio looking thing. I would definitely change it to something a little more like TFT display, so you can have phone connectivity and all these little things that other brands are coming up with on retro bikes. Now this one is a retro style bike, but you have this huge display here. You can definitely put a TFT thing right there. I love these bullet holes, man. I love the whole design. This bike, it's always been very pretty, but when they redesigned it in 2018, I believe it was, or maybe 17, it's a lot better. A lot better. It looks a lot meaner, and even though it's very retro, you do feel that the bike is a modern take on a retro. It's so lovely, man. The mirrors are not bad. They don't shake a lot like they used to, but they're just common Harley Davidson mirrors, so you can change them and put something there a little bit nicer. Also the grips, right? These grips, they're just made there for you to change them right away. You can also change the floorboards, the pegs, the pedal, make it your own, right? That's one of those things about these cruiser bikes, so you can make them your own. The fastest bike in the world, but it's not meant to. It's just meant to get you out of traffic with no problem, and it makes you feel very good. This bike is like, oh man, you feel one with the bike. It's very hard to explain the sensation of riding a Fat Boy. It's just something that you want to do every freaking day, man. Now, the last time I rode one of these, I was complaining that it's not practical. And unfortunately, people are gonna get upset, just like, it's practical, you can do all these things. Yeah, you can put bags on it, you can do things, but you're gonna break the whole aesthetics of the bike, and it just kills it for me, right? Because that's the whole point of this bike, is how beautiful it is. So if you put a bag on it, you break the line, the nice line that it has. So you don't want to do that, right? If you want to do that, just get one of those. And you can't tell me that that bike is prettier than this one, because if you say that, then you know nothing about aesthetics of bikes. That's it. Haha, I'm getting used to getting the bike into neutral. I don't know, I just like being on this bike. Another thing that I talked about is the seat. So the seat is huge and wide, and you can move around and sit on different positions. That's when you get tired. So when I traded my Street Glide for this one, is because it didn't have any wind protection, and it was just a little bit, you get too tired of riding for hours and hours. So this bike is more for just cruising around. It's not to go to the twisties, it's not to take long commutes. Once you get used to how that tire turns, it's not that bad. It's actually, I don't know, it's a whole different experience, and I enjoy it. And the brakes, they're much better than I remember. I don't know if they changed something, or it's just, yeah, you give it a little bit of the beans and the bike is gonna put a big smile on your face, because it's one of those things about the Milwaukee 8 engine that, even though it doesn't have a lot of horsepower up top, right, you're not going to hold 120, 130 miles per hour on this bike. You could, because I know, at least on the breakout, had a guy follow me on my Suzuki. I was doing 130 and the breakout kept going. So I don't know if it had a stage or whatever on it, but this engine is the same engine, right? Maybe it's this 117, but it's all they change is the bore or the stroke, I forgot. But anyway, it's the same engine, so the power is there, but they're not built for that. They're built, first off, for reliability. This is one of those things that people give Harley bad rep. It's like, Harley's reliability is crap. And it's like, no, dude, it used to be crap when they were owned by AMF back in the 80s and 70s. Come on. That's not the case. Harley is pretty good at low maintenance. The problem with the Harleys is that they shake a lot, so parts are gonna fall off of your bike. And that's another thing that people say, no, that's not true, not on my Harley. Yeah, well, I've owned 2 Harleys and I've ridden plenty of Harleys in my lifetime, and I know that that's a fact. Parts do fall off of your Harley. Okay, so you have to make sure that you're checking every time, because foot pegs, shifter pegs, the little things that go on the luggage rack, they fall apart, and then I mean different things, they fall off the bike. So, but as far as the engine, like getting blown up, or I don't know, things that are like the transmission going bad, or things that are pretty big, it doesn't happen on a Harley. The only issue I've had with my Harleys is that when it gets below 0, since they are air-cooled engines, the engine will not start. It freezes up and it will not start. But that's the only issue I've had with both Harleys that I've owned, and I've never had on one of my group rides somebody having to wait for somebody whose bike broke down in the middle of the road, and it was a Harley. And I've been doing the Forever Newbie rides for 2 years now, and I've had to wait for Ducatis, and I've had to wait for, what else? What other brands that they break down? Yeah, it's usually Ducatis that break down. And always like very old Japanese bikes, but it's just because people don't take care of them, because you know the Japanese are going to be the most reliable bikes. But I digress. Let's go back to the Fat Boy. Would I put it on my list? Well, it's always been on my list. It's one of my favorite bikes of all time. I just liked riding it, and after riding the Street Glide for a while, this one feels like such a smaller and nimbler bike, even though that big fat tire makes you struggle to turn it. The bike itself, it's nimbler and lighter, even though this is the weight, bam, but it doesn't feel that heavy. And I like the suspension now. I don't know if they did something also, but the suspension does feel a little bit better when it gets the bumps. Maybe it's just the way the shock is set up is perfect for me. But it's very nice.
It's nice.
Okay. I thought I knew how to. There it is. It's in neutral now. So the only thing I would not get this bike with that color, it's nice, the whole brick thing, but I would rather have it in blue. I would rather have it in black. I would rather have it in gray the way I used to, or silverish or something. The whole shark blue thing, I like that color. I would get that one. And what would I do on this? I would change the grips. And I would change maybe the floorboards and the pegs, and I would remove the toe shifter, because as I said, you put your boot here and then you can't really move around. So that's the problem. Yeah, once you get used to it, it does drop very easy, and it just maintains its line when it's inside of the tires. All you have to do is get used to how long it's going to take for you to turn it, right? Because you do have to muzzle it a little bit for it to drop. And I don't know, man. I love this freaking bike. Why don't I win the lottery so I can get another Fat Boy on my stable? Because would I trade it again for my Street Glide? Well, no, because my Street Glide is so practical. You have the bags, you have the infotainment, you have the bed fairing for when it's cold or when it's raining. It's very convenient. And it's not a bad looking bike. So, if a Fat Boy was a lot more affordable than my Street Glide 2021, but it's not. So this is the price of the Fat Boy for 2025. Bam! So you see, this is what I paid for my 21 Street Glide, and with the payments, I mean the APR that the banks are giving now, it would make no financial sense. I mean, I would have to be crazy, because I would end up paying even more, I think. And just for the looks of the bike, because basically that's what it is, the looks of the bike, because it's not faster than mine, even though it has a bigger engine. I don't think it's a lot faster, and it's not performance oriented, right? Not like the ST model that my friend Jason is riding back there. That one is a lot more of a performance-oriented bike. Alright guys, well that is it for today's video. Remember, if you like the videos, to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell button, share it with all your friends. You don't like the videos, well, share it with all your enemies. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Where are we going?
Street glide, right?
Yes.
All right, let me flip this one back.
How'd you like it?
It'd be cool for somebody that didn't have what I already have.
Oh yeah.
But like, it's not a fast cruiser, but still got some lean angle and fun.
Yeah.
It's split the difference.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, for me, the Street Bob feels a lot faster and nimbler than this one, this is supposed to be the performance-oriented one, and I think that the Street Bob would kick his ass.
This is my first time riding something with the 117 in it. It's got a lot of torque.
Yeah.
I think my knees are a little too high for my.
You're a little bit too tall for it?
Yeah, because my knees are high and I'm still a bit back a little bit.
What about this thing? Does it not get in the way?
No, that was good.
Okay, because on mine, when I ride it, I start hitting that.
Because for me, like, it's pretty much straight up and down.
So maybe it's not on that bike that it happened. I think it was on the Fat Bob that happened. Anyway.
Bob didn't have that kind of breather.
No.
The ones that have this kind of breather are the Lowrider S, the ST, and the Breakout. I always thought these were really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's this one.
240 rear tire.
Yeah, it's this one. You see? I start hitting it. When I'm moving around, I start hitting it, and that becomes uncomfortable. But I like it.
So, you remember when we turned right at Whataburger? You know how that road was bumpy? But you feel that, oh my God. It's all in the green. Alright, let me walk you through the Street glide real quick.
Alright. Has a balloon. It's a boy.
Alright, so Street glide, they redesigned them from the ground up. They weigh about 18 pounds less than previous models. There's no more dials, no more gauges. It's just a digital screen now. You flip the switch, you turn it on. Beautiful giant display. So now, like I said, you see where it says mode there?
Mm-hmm.
Has different riding modes. So, street mode, that's your regular everyday riding.
Okay.
Sports mode gives you 85% more torque.
Mm-hmm.
Custom mode, you can change your engine mapping, engine braking, throttle response, traction control, and your ABS braking. And you can go to more torque. And then you have your rain mode. Rain mode is going to kick in your traction control and it's going to dampen your throttle response so you don't accidentally risky throttle, so you don't overspin your rear tire. You're not going to slip and slide. Great for when it rains, obviously, or for brand new riders until you get used to the bike. If riding conditions, let's say there's gravel, sand, or people mowing lawns in your neighborhood, there's grass everywhere. Just put it in rain mode and you'll be good to go. There's a tray now that fits your phone, a lot better than what it used to be. You can connect it so it doesn't die. But my favorite feature overall is that they're now water cooled as well. So it has a radiator. See the line going through here?
Yep.
It goes and it coils around the rear cylinder.
Oh, okay.
So right here where you're sitting at, it's 40 degrees cooler than previous years.
Okay. That's a good one.
Especially here in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
40 degrees.
Yep.
It's a game changer. So, like, I've been on extended rides on these bikes, and after coming back, I can literally put my hand up to right here, and I'm like, man, that's where I feel it. Whereas on the older bikes, I can have my hand all the way out here, and I'm like, yeah, I can feel the heat here.
Do these come standard? The little heat shields?
We add the heat deflector, and we also put on the quick disconnect here, and we also put on most of them. This one doesn't have it, but we usually also put the heel toe shifter on.
Okay.
Alright.
All right, ready to go, I guess.
Go. You're in street mode. As you're riding, feel free to
Yep.
press the different mode button.
Okay.
See how it feels.
Sure thing. Well, hello there in YouTube land, and welcome back to the channel. And we are at Republic Harley Davidson here in Houston, Texas, and we're about to hop on again on one of these beautiful new Harley Davidson street glides with a 117 engine. It has cooling elements for the heads, especially for the rear cylinder. It has not the variable valve timing, so it's the more of a high output type of engine. What else is different? Well, everything is basically different on this bike, chassis wise, but the engine is the same Milwaukee 8, but now it has a 117, better cooling system, better air cooling as well. And well, let's hop on it, see how it's like to ride. Check out that big display. I love that display, man. Love it. All right, let's turn this thing on. I mean, I just rode the Fat Boy, so this one is gonna feel a little bit heavier than the Fat Boy, but it's gonna feel lighter than my Street Glide. Oh yeah, it drops a lot easier. For some reason, it feels a little bit taller. I mean, I think it's because I just got out the Fat Boy, but I think it's the suspension also. It's a little bit stiffer. So maybe it's just because it's new. Oh man, but I love this bike. It's so much easier to ride than the previous model. You feel the brakes are better, although I remember them being a little bit better than this. Is this thing recording? Yes it is, or something. Yeah, there's something wrong with the brakes on this one. Okay, you need to change something so that I can see the display here. I don't know which button that is, but we're not gonna try and figure out here. What we're gonna figure out is the mode. Instead of being in custom mode or street mode, oh, it doesn't change. It's in rain mode now. Road Sport. There you go. Nope. Alright, it's in custom mode, but I don't want it in custom mode because I don't know what that is. I want it in sport mode. Oh, now it's in rain and this is going to be oh yeah, that sucks. That's road mode, which gives you some power, but I want it in sport. There you go. Oh, you can actually hear it engage it. It's a lot better. Yeah, sport mode is where you want to be on a bike like this. I do believe the brakes are not as good as I remembered. They're a little bit squishy, and so I don't feel as confident as I used to. But still, great bike, man. So the problem with the Street Glide, the only problem with the Street Glide, I love the look of it. I like how it feels, how it rides, the dash. It has the infotainment, it has the speakers, it has everything that you would want. Why am I not trading in my previous model? Because it's just too much money, man. So the base model now starts at, bam, there you go. So that's like $5,000 more. And with the APRs being the way they are, it's impossible for me to get one. Not now. So eventually, it is a bike that is on my list. How do I change the display on this thing? Maybe it's this thing. Well, this is telling me information, but I want to change. That's the traction control. And I don't know what I did. And this one, is it telling me that it has low air pressure on one of the tires? Because that's what it looks like. Huh, what else? Let's see this one. There we go. Let's see if it engages the navigation thing. Navigation disabled. Oh, do you have to buy it? I hope not. Because I like the display, but if I can't use it, it makes no sense right now. It also has this little tray, as we saw earlier. You can put your phone there. Unfortunately, if you have something like an Android, you're not going to be able to connect because the autoplay, which was like the version of the CarPlay, is not available for bikes anymore. And that's not a Harley thing. Oh man. It's so good, man. It's just so powerful and easy to maneuver. It's, I can't say 100 times better than mine, but yeah, 90 times better. And some people were complaining like, oh, when you're doing your comparisons, you've never ridden those bikes. You've never ridden the BMW Air 1250 RT. Well, I have. And believe me, this thing feels a lot sportier than that one. You don't like it, deal with it. Because Harley made a great bike on this one, and it's just so easy to maneuver, so easy to drop. So, I mean, it's so sporty. You can get this bike and beat the hell out of that 1250 anytime and twice, any day of the week and twice on Sunday. All right? Unless, obviously, you have a better rider on the other bike. But for people like me who are not the greatest riders in the world, man, this bike has to be unstable, man. And you don't have to go CVO. Believe me, you don't. What are you going to be missing? Because the variable valve timing, the paint job, all these things, you can live without. What matters on a bike like this is that it's comfortable to ride for long hours and that it's sporty and enjoyable to ride. That's the bike for me. So, oh man, because I'm set on buying a super bike. But what if I'm old? I'm already too old and I buy something like this. Would it be too bad? No, it's not. Because you can be fast enough. I mean, how fast do you really want to go? 180? Well, yeah, maybe. But and for some reason, this one, I don't know if it's just because it's in sport mode, but there's something about the acoustics of the engine. You don't miss the pipes. Because, yeah, you want better pipes, right? But why? On this one, you don't. On the Fat Boy, yes. Because you didn't get that roar of the engine. On this one, you do feel it. And it's really weird because the first time I rode these, I didn't hear that rumbling. Maybe I didn't put it in sport mode. I mean, this one sounds very sporty, but also with a lot of character. I love the V-twin. I love the engine on this bike. I don't think I talked about it enough on last video because I was so impressed with the chassis and the way it drops and the way it feels. The suspension, it's also a lot better. But I mean, the engine is so good and it has a lot of character, and it gives you enough acceleration to keep you entertained. It's just so good, man. So freaking good. Where's my buddy? All right, back there. And it's peppy, but it's also snatchy enough to get you into trouble. So it's one of those things that I didn't feel last time, that the bike was so freaking good on acceleration. I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, this bike, yeah, it's definitely back on the top of the list, even more than the Fat Boy. Because, I mean, the Fat Boy is this price, bam. This is the Street Glide, bam. So yeah, but you're getting a hell lot of a lot more bike. Yeah, it's not as pretty, but when you're riding it, you're not looking at it. You're riding it. All right, enough of the sport shit. Let's move it to regular road because it does. Oh, not rain. It does feel a little too snatchy to enjoy. It's more of a, okay, let's go to the twisties, put it in sport mode. Let's ride it regularly, and yeah, we'll keep it regularly. It's such a good bike, man. It's pretty as well. I mean, the whole thing that they changed, Harley, I mean, they knocked it out of the park. I don't know why people would say that they need to keep it old school. No, don't keep it old school. Start doing things new, please. Please. Oh, man. Oh, why did I change it to road mode? Now I can't, anyway. I didn't know we were gonna go fast on that corner. The streets in Houston are terrible, but the suspension on this bike is taking the humps and the bumps no problem. But yeah, if you ride every single day, you do need a little bit softer suspension. So you need to, I don't know, just maybe change the rear shock to make it a little bit softer. But if you want to go fast and sport-like riding, you keep it like that, and you're gonna have a hell of a good time on this bike. And it'll be awesome also to go with the sport bike guys and keep up with them and just impress the hell out of them, because you can on a bike like this, especially on a slow, twisty road like 30/90. Should have kept it on sport mode. Alright, where's the thing here? Sport mode. Alright, there we go. I don't know why Jason is having such a good time on that Heritage, which is very slow and very annoying. Because one of the only Softails that I rode, or that I've ridden, that I didn't like, and I don't even have a video for that one, guys, so I owe you that one. Eventually I will, but it's just like every time there's a demo, I would much rather be on a bike like this or a Fat Boy than on that Heritage. I just don't like it. Not only the looks, the aesthetics, it reminds me too much of the Police Academy, but it also, the way it rides, it's just not good. I hit the rev limiter on by mistake. Just trying to keep up with these guys. Something smells really good. I don't know if it's Bombshells or Hooters. I think it's Bombshells. Never been to that one. Eventually I will. I love the sound of this engine, man. I love this bike. Well, that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, if you like the videos, to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell button, and share with all your friends. If you don't like the videos, well, share with all your enemies. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I like the way you see the indicator here, more on top, easier to find. I like this bike a lot. What happened to the self-canceling indicator? Why is it still signaling? Okay, so now we're gonna do another slow U-turn, which I hate doing slow U-turns on Harleys. This is not that bad. It was easier than on mine, which I've had more experience with. So that's weird. But I like it. I enjoy this bike a lot. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Alright, I don't know where I'm going to put this one, so I'll just put it here. And let me do a walk around again on this bike. And the black is the way to go, man. The black is the way to go. Se apagó. Se apagó.